Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be making a tier list of superhero costumes and seeing how good they are. Okay, first up is Captain America, and his costume is pretty good. I like the shield. I think if it wasn't for the shield, it would be a bit lower. But the shield adds some, uniqueness. It adds some color. It adds some flair, and that's why I'm gonna put him in awesome. Next up is Black Panther, and his suit is actually pretty cool. It just doesn't have too much color difference, so it's just like one black suit. I know it has a little bit of purple here and there, but you can't really notice it that much. Well, I can at least. After Black Panther comes the Flash, and you would think, as a Flash fan, I would be biased, but I'm gonna actually just put him in pretty cool. He only has two colors, and his suit doesn't really do much for me. I know some other versions of the Flash have like different suits, but I'm using the one I took, and it looks pretty cool. Next is the Hulk, and I'm gonna have to put it in bad. It's not horrible, but he's just wearing shorts, like literally. Anyone could do that. And I know like his clothes rip, but rip clothes is an effort, right? It's not even a costume, so it's pretty bad. He's lucky I didn't put him in horrible. After the Hulk comes Bantam, who is like this random character in like DC Comics, and his design is damn near horrible. Just look at it. He has like a kind of a skirt, and then his color palette isn't that great, and it just looks tacky. It looks very old-fashioned too, so I don't like it. Next is Mr. Elastic from the Fantastic Four, and I'm gonna just put him in bad. Actually, I'm gonna put him in pretty like cool, but at the bottom of it, because if he was just like standing still, his suit would be like decent. But like when he stretches and when it looks all weird and janky like that, it just loses cool points for me at least. So I'm gonna put him at the bottom of cool. Up next is Green Lantern, and Green Lanterns have always been awesome to me. I just like the green ring. I love the glow, and even though it's like kind of the same color, it's different variants of the same color, so it's kind of different like from Black Panther. But I'll put him below Captain America, because Captain America adds a little bit more flair, but they're pretty awesome, pretty cool. After Green Lanterns comes Black Widow, and she looks pretty good and pretty cool in her suit. I'll just put her right below Black Panther, because I think his suit is a bit different and kind of unique, but she looks pretty good. She looks like a model. After Black Widow comes Wonder Woman, and I like her design. It kind of reminds me of like ancient Greece and like a warrior, and it's pretty unique. It's not like your average or typical costume, and Wonder Woman is very iconic, so I'll put her in awesome. Next is Saitama from One Punch Man, and I'm not saying like his suit is horrible. I'll put it above the Hulk, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty cheap. It's pretty tacky, and I think that was the point from the author, to make it kind of very generic, very plain, very boring, because Saitama, he doesn't like too much attention, so I think the suit fits him, but that's the whole point of the suit. It's kind of boring and kind of generic. After Saitama comes Hawkeye, and he's also bad. I'll just put him maybe above Saitama. Just his costume is just very unorganized, and it has like the same color going throughout, and yeah, there is some variation, but the design is just not hitting it for me, so I'm putting him in bad. After Hawkeye comes Black Condor, and his design is horrible. He screams like a bootlegged version of Falcon from the 80s, and he's not even wearing a shirt, and his design just looks terrible. Get him out of here. Next is Storm from the X-Men, and I always loved Storm, and I loved her design, and I just think she was very cool, or if not even awesome. But I'll put her at the top of cool, because I just love her design. It's just amazing. After Storm comes All Might in his prime, and All Might in his prime just looks damn amazing. It just screams like, hey, I'm a superhero. It kind of reminds me of like Superman, but for like anime, and I think his design is perfect, and the author nailed it. Next is Deku, and I'm gonna put Deku at like the bottom of cool. He does have a different costume aside from this, his final form costume and stuff like that. But it just, it just, it's like a going towards the Batman route with like dark and gritty instead of like the Superman route with, All Might. But it just didn't work because his costume looks kind of ridiculous. I would actually put it in bad, maybe the top of bad, but that's it. Up next is Robin, and Robin's costume looks absolutely ridiculous. I'll put him above, the Hulk since he at least thought of something, but it looks horrible. Like, why? What is this? Where are your pants? And maybe the top part is good, and I know there's some versions where he has pants, but in this version, he's not even wearing pants. He's like wearing some undies or some stuff like that, and he looks absolutely ridiculous. Like, get out of here! What are you doing? After Robin comes Batman, and Batman's costume screams iconic. It screams legendary. Like, each time you see like Batman in his costume, you think he's cool. I can't even lie. I'm not the biggest fan of Batman, but he looks cool damn near all the time in like every movie or every TV show I see, just because his costume is fire. And then comes Wolverine, which is kind of the lesser version of Batman. It just doesn't match. I know Wolverine has different costumes, but I'm using the one I see in this picture. And I'm gonna just say it's at the bottom of cool. It's even worse than Mr. Elastic from the Fantastic Four. It just looks very plain, kind of boring. It's just my opinion. After Wolverine comes Iron Man, and Iron Man looks pretty damn cool. I'll put him at like the bottom of awesome, and his costume does scream iconic, but it's not as iconic as Batman's costume. Granted, he does have different suits and stuff like that, so depending on what suit you use, he could be a bit higher or a bit lower, but I'm gonna put him right here because I think he's pretty awesome. Next is Thor, and Thor's costume, I would also put it in awesome just because how iconic he is. It looks pretty good. It reminds you of like an Asgardian god, and that's basically what he is. So I actually like the color palette. I like the helmet. He's not wearing the helmet in this picture, but usually he's wearing like a helmet. And I like the gold on his body, gold boots, and he just looks cool. And he's wielding a hammer, for fuck's sake. So yeah. Next is one of the worst designs I ever seen, Killer Raven. He just looks like a 80s rock band, and like he's wearing like what's called those kind of what's called leotards. I think they're called leotards. But he looks absolutely ridiculous. Get him out of here. After Killer Raven comes Nightcrawler, and believe it or not, I actually really loved Nightcrawler when I was watching the X-Men. I thought his power was so cool, but his design isn't that great. I'm not gonna lie. I'll put it at let me see. I'll put it right here. But his designs are kind of plain, kind of boring. They could have done way more for his design, but they decided to do that, so it's whatever. Up next is Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's costume is amazing, and I love his his color palette, the blue with the red with the white, and I love it when they just keep it like this because it's just a very iconic, and it looks very good. Because when they change his costume a bit in like the other versions, he kind of looks horrible. So I like it when they stick to this Spider-Man. After Spider-Man comes Aquaman, and believe it or not, Aquaman looks very awesome. I'm not gonna even lie. I'm gonna put him at the top of awesome. I love like the color palette with the orange on top, green, and then gold belt. It looks awesome. Like, he looks awesome, and in that picture he looks awesome. And I even looked at other pictures, and he just looked awesome. I don't know why people hate on Aquaman's design. I think it's because he's like in the ocean, and he controls the fishes. But aside from that, his costume alone is amazing. Up next is Falcon, and I think Falcon is pretty cool. He's not as bad as Mr. Elastic or Wolverine, but I think it's kind of basic. I'm not gonna lie, but it passes, so I'll put him in pretty cool. After Falcon comes the Vibe, and granted, I think the Vibe actually looks better than Wolverine. Granted, he kind of looks like he's from the 80s, with that vest, but it kind of reminds me of like Michael Jackson in the in the song Thriller, and it just looks so cool. I'm not gonna lie. If it wasn't for his jacket, he would have been way lower, but his jacket does look cool to me, at least. Next is the Jack of Hearts, and I'm gonna just put him in maybe the top of horrible. His design is kind of all over the place. His color palette, it doesn't even matter. He has like blue, yellow, a different kind of yellow, and then red. It looks kind of janky. It looks off. I just don't like it. After the vibe comes the legendary Superman, and Superman's design is amazing. It screams superhero. Superman's design is the first thing you think of when someone says superhero, and I love the color palette. I like the yellow right in between the S. I like the S on his chest. I just love everything about this design, so I'm putting it in amazing. After Superman comes Dr. Fate, and I love Dr. Fate's design. I'm putting it in amazing also. I love the gold. I love the blue. I like the helmet. It looks so mystic. He looks so like he looks like a god. He looks like he roams around the universe and stuff like that, which he does. But that's what I mean. Like when I was a kid and I was watching Dr. Fate or playing any games that had Dr. Fate, like DC Universe, I played it, and Dr. Fate was so cool, and his voice was just like, oh, and I just loved it. So I'm putting it in amazing. Up next is Shazam, and he's pretty cool. I'll put him right here. He's not as iconic as Superman or anything like that, but he's kind of like the bootlegged version of Superman, just my opinion. After Shazam comes Doctor Strange, and I'm just gonna put him in like pretty cool, like right here, right above Shazam. He's not as mystic or legendary as Dr. Fate, and his costume really it looks kind of tacky. While like Dr. Fate has gold everywhere and like his aura is just emanating, Doctor Strange is just like, I'm right here. So yeah, middle of cool. After Doctor Strange comes He-Man, and I know a lot of people are gonna hate me, but He-Man looks pretty horrible. Just to make it a bit sweeter, I'll put him at the top of horrible. But I just don't see the costume. I just don't like the costume. It looks kind of ridiculous. He's basically damn near naked. He's just wearing basically undies and maybe something on his chest, but that's not really a costume like that. And it looks pretty lame to me. I don't know what people see in He-Man, but sorry if I ruined your childhood superhero or hero, whatever. After He-Man comes Nightwing, and Nightwing, he's pretty plain. I'm not gonna lie. He's like the bottom of cool. He just his costume is just blue and black, and then he has like a triangle right here. Just like what are you doing? Like it looks so lame compared to like Batman. Like look at Batman's costume compared to Nightwing's costume. Even Robin, actually, I might just put him right here. Yeah, even Robin's costume is more iconic than Nightwing's. Like, and Robin was like Batman's sidekick, and I know Nightwing is technically Robin, but he just downgraded with this suit. After Nightwing's disaster comes Plastic Man, and Plastic Man, I gotta put him like right here. He at least put some effort aside from like the Hulk. The Hulk is just like shorts, but Plastic Man, he looks absolutely ridiculous, and he's even worse than Mr. Elastic, because Mr. Elastic is at least not wearing shorts. Like, what are these shorts doing for you? You look absolutely ridiculous. After Plastic Man comes the Thing, and the Thing is damn near worse than the Hulk. At least the Hulk, his shorts came by accident, but the Thing purposely put these shorts on. So it's like, what are you doing? You're even worse than the Hulk. Like, no effort at all. The Hulk accident, you purposely put that on. Like, ridiculous. You look like a baby with like a diaper on, a big one. After the Thing comes Cosmic Boy, and he is damn near horrible. You're basically, I don't even know what this is. Like a leotard? What is it? Like, are you trying to go swimming or something? You look absolutely ridiculous. If I saw you on the street, I will call the cops. Get out of here. After Cosmic Boy comes Cable, and Cable is actually pretty cool. I'll put him right, maybe above Black Widow, and he looks actually pretty cool. I like his, he kind of looks like a soldier, but he looks like a tough soldier that came from the future. So I like the design, and the color palette is not the greatest, but it's alright. And the last person on our list is Statishar, and he's basically pretty basic. I'm not gonna lie. I'll put him right below. I'll put him here since he put at least some effort into his costume. Okay, guys, that was all for this video. Let me know your opinions in the comment section below. Do you agree with me that these people should be up here, these people should be right here, these people should be right here, and all of these other people are bad or either horrible? Yeah, like this video and subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.